There's a unique kind of magnetism that can't be faked. It isn't found in expensive clothes, flashy jewelry, or the latest beauty trend. It's something deeper, something timeless, something that speaks louder than any words ever could. It's called class. And when you have it, people notice. Men notice. They might not always be able to put it into words, but they feel it. It's the way you carry yourself, the choices you make, and the energy you bring into every room you walk into. You see, attraction isn't just about physical beauty. Beauty might catch someone's eye for a moment, but class is what makes them stay, respect you, and admire you from a distance even before they know your name. True class doesn't scream for attention, it commands it naturally. It isn't about arrogance either. It's about a quiet confidence that says, I know who I am, I know what I deserve, and I don't need to prove it to anyone. But here's where it gets interesting. Many women are taught that to impress men, they need to do more, be louder, dress bolder, act in ways that grab attention. Yet the opposite is true. The most attractive women are those who embody a sense of self-assurance and dignity. They don't chase, they attract. They don't demand respect, they inspire it. And men can tell instantly when a woman carries herself with class because it separates her from the rest in a world that often celebrates the superficial. Now, let's break a myth right here. Class isn't about being born into wealth. It's not about designer handbags or driving a luxury car. In fact, some of the classiest women in history didn't have much in terms of material possessions. What they did have was presence. They had elegance in the way they moved, thoughtfulness in the way they spoke, and strength in the way they held themselves through life's storms. Class is a mindset, a lifestyle, and above all, a choice. Think about it. A woman with true class doesn't need to chase after someone's attention at a party. She knows that her worth isn't determined by who notices her. She doesn't compare herself to others or dim her light to fit in. She sets her own standards, she holds her own boundaries, and she creates her own definition of success. That kind of energy doesn't just attract men, it attracts opportunities, friendships, and respect everywhere she goes. And here's the truth, men deeply respect women who carry themselves with class. It's not just about romance, it's about admiration. When a man sees a woman who values herself, who communicates with grace, who walks with confidence, he sees someone he can't play games with. He sees someone who deserves commitment, not just attention, and that instantly separates you from the noise. But let me also be clear, being classy doesn't mean being perfect. It doesn't mean you never raise your voice, never make mistakes, or never feel insecure. It means you rise above the chaos instead of being consumed by it. It means you don't let temporary emotions destroy permanent respect. It means you know when to walk away from what doesn't serve you, even if it's hard. That is strength, and strength is incredibly attractive. What makes this so powerful is that class isn't something you buy, it's something you embody. It's in your choices, your mindset, and the standards you live by daily. And the beauty of it is, anyone can cultivate it. Whether you're stepping into a new relationship, building your career, or simply reinventing yourself, class is the quality that will carry you further than anything else. So in this message, we're going to talk about 7 powerful, attractive things that show men you have class. 7 qualities that don't just make you magnetic in dating, but make you unforgettable as a woman. These are the things that men notice, even when they can't quite put their finger on why. And once you master them, you'll not only attract higher quality men, you'll also raise the standard of how people treat you in every area of your life. Because at the end of the day, class isn't just about how the world sees you, it's about how you see yourself. And when you carry yourself with grace, respect, and quiet confidence, you won't just stand out, you'll shine. When a man meets a woman, before he notices the brand of her clothes, the style of her makeup, or even the way she laughs, there is one thing that speaks louder than all of it. It's self-respect. You can feel it before you even know someone's story. It shows in her posture, in the way she speaks, in the way she handles herself when someone tries to cross a line. And here's the truth, men can sense it instantly. A woman with self-respect doesn't have to announce her worth, she radiates it. Think about the last time you met someone who clearly had no need to beg for attention. They weren't desperate for approval, they weren't bending over backwards just to be liked, and they weren't scared of losing someone who wasn't treating them right. That kind of energy is magnetic because it says, I value myself, and if you don't, that's your loss. Self-respect is not arrogance, it's alignment. It's knowing your value so deeply that you refuse to settle for anything less than what honors you. One of the biggest mistakes people make in relationships is thinking that giving more, sacrificing endlessly, and lowering their standards will make someone stay. But here's the paradox: the more you sacrifice your self-respect to hold on to someone, the less attractive you become to them. Why? Because when you don't value yourself, you teach the other person not to value you either. Men notice when a woman is willing to let boundaries slide, when she allows bad behavior to continue, when she says yes to things she doesn't really want just to keep the peace. They might not admit it, but deep down they lose respect for it. On the other hand, when a woman has clear boundaries, when she's unafraid to say no, when she chooses peace over drama and walks away from what doesn't honor her, she becomes unforgettable. It's not because she's difficult, it's because she's strong. Men respect strength. And the kind of strength that doesn't need to shout or fight for attention, that quiet strength of self-respect, is the most attractive of all. Self-respect shows in the small choices you make every day. It's not answering the phone at midnight when someone who's been ignoring you suddenly decides they're bored. It's not dropping your plans just because someone who couldn't make time for you suddenly has a free moment. It's not chasing after half effort and calling it love. Instead, it's being okay with waiting for someone who actually values your time. It's protecting your energy, and it's honoring your standards even when it would be easier to bend them. And here's something important: men test women all the time, not always intentionally, but they do. They want to see what you'll tolerate, how much you'll compromise, how quickly you'll give yourself away without them earning it. The woman who has self-respect passes those tests without even trying. She doesn't play games, she simply lives by her standards. If someone doesn't meet them, she doesn't beg, she doesn't argue, she doesn't chase, she just moves forward. And that calm confidence is what makes a man step up if he truly wants to keep her. The beauty of self-respect is that it doesn't just attract the right kind of man, it filters out the wrong ones. A man who's only looking for something casual won't last around a woman who values herself because she won't entertain crumbs. A man who is manipulative, controlling, or dismissive won't get far because she won't play along. Self-respect is like a shield. It protects you from being dragged into situations that are beneath your value. And the men who are truly serious, the ones who are capable of giving real love, are drawn to it. But maybe the most powerful part of self-respect is how it changes the way you see yourself. When you honor your own worth, you walk differently. You speak differently. You don't shrink in a room to make others feel comfortable. You don't apologize for wanting more. You stop settling for halfway love and start believing you deserve something real. And when you live that way, men don't just notice you, they admire you. They want to rise to meet you. They know they can't play small with you because you're not a woman who accepts less than she deserves. So if you want to be seen as a woman of class, remember that self-respect is the foundation. It is the first signal men pick up on, the silent message that tells them how to treat you. And the more you embody it, the more magnetic you become. Because beauty may catch the eye, but self-respect captures the heart. The way you communicate has the power to completely change the way people see you. It's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it. Grace in communication is one of the clearest signals that a woman carries herself with class. When a man hears you speak with calm confidence, when he notices the kindness in your tone, the respect in your words, and the way you express yourself without tearing others down, he immediately recognizes that you're different. It's rare and it's magnetic. We live in a world where so many people communicate with impatience, sarcasm, and unnecessary drama. It's almost expected that arguments will be loud, Text messages will be blunt and disagreements will turn into battles. But a woman who communicates with grace changes the energy of every conversation. She knows how to express her feelings without attacking. She knows how to disagree without disrespect. And she knows how to set boundaries without turning it into a fight. That kind of presence leaves a mark on anyone who interacts with her, especially men. Think about it. When a man is speaking to a woman who constantly criticizes, interrupts, or uses harsh words, he might feel defensive, closed off, or even disinterested. But when he's speaking to someone who listens, who pauses before reacting, who chooses her words with thoughtfulness, it creates a completely different connection. He feels safe. He feels respected. And because of that, he sees her as a woman who stands out from the rest. Grace in communication doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. In fact, it's the opposite. It's the ability to be firm while still being respectful. It's being able to say, "I don't accept that," without raising your voice. It's choosing to remain calm even when someone else is trying to push your buttons. That composure is powerful because it shows emotional maturity. And men are incredibly drawn to women who can handle themselves in difficult conversations without losing control. There's also something deeply attractive about a woman who can make people feel heard. So many conversations these days are about waiting for your turn to speak, about proving your point louder than the other person. But when you genuinely listen, when you give your attention fully, when you respond instead of react, it creates intimacy. Men notice when a woman makes them feel understood, and it's often one of the biggest reasons they remember her long after the conversation ends. But let's not forget, the words you choose reflect how you see yourself. If you're constantly gossiping, putting others down, or speaking negatively, it shows insecurity. On the other hand, when your words uplift, when you can turn a conversation into something meaningful, when you can inspire instead of drain, you become unforgettable. Classy communication isn't about big words or perfect grammar. It's about intention. It's about using your voice to bring value, not noise. Imagine two different scenarios. One woman loses her temper at the slightest inconvenience. She shouts, she curses, she reacts with no control. Another woman, faced with the same situation, takes a breath. She addresses the issue directly, calmly, and with clarity. Which one do you think leaves the greater impression? Which one earns respect? Which one makes a man think, "I can trust her, I can talk to her, I can rely on her"? It's obvious, the second woman, because her grace speaks louder than her frustration. This doesn't mean you hide your emotions or suppress your feelings. It means you master them. It means you don't allow anger or fear to dictate your words. It means you express yourself with balance. And when a man sees that you can navigate emotional conversations with honesty and calmness, it makes him want to step up his own communication as well. Grace is contagious. It raises the standard for everyone around you. And here's the truth, men don't just listen to what you say. They listen to how you say it. Your tone, your energy, your delivery, it all matters. A woman who can say the hardest truth with kindness is far more attractive than someone who says the sweetest words with bitterness. That subtle difference is everything. It shows class, it shows self-control, and it shows a level of maturity that not everyone has. At the end of the day, communication is where connection either grows or dies. If you want to be seen as a woman with class, let your words reflect dignity. Let your tone reflect calmness. Let your conversations leave people better than you found them. Because when you speak with grace, you don't just attract attention, you create respect. And respect is the foundation of lasting love. There is something unforgettable about a woman who walks into a room with confidence in her appearance. It's not about being the most beautiful, the youngest, or having the perfect body. It's about presence. It's about the way she carries herself, the way she dresses with intention, and the way she shows the world that she values herself enough to present her best. Men notice this instantly. Confidence in appearance doesn't mean she's trying to be the center of attention. It means she's already centered within herself, and that radiates outward. So many people misunderstand what it means to look attractive. They think it's about dressing in the most revealing outfit, following every new trend, or covering up insecurities with layers of makeup. But a woman who has class doesn't dress for validation. She doesn't try to compete for who can turn the most heads. She dresses in a way that reflects her standards, her personality, and her pride in who she is. Her appearance isn't about screaming for attention. It's about quietly commanding respect. When a man sees a woman who invests in her appearance, he sees someone who respects herself. It's not about money or labels, it's about effort. It's about cleanliness, elegance, and the little details that show she takes pride in herself. A neatly put together outfit, well-groomed hair, a touch of subtle fragrance. These things say, I care about me. And that message is powerful because if you don't care about yourself, why should anyone else? Confidence in appearance also comes through body language. The way you stand tall instead of shrinking, the way you make eye contact instead of looking down, the way you move with intention instead of rushing nervously, all of these things create an aura. Men are deeply drawn to that energy because it signals security. It says, I am comfortable in my own skin. And when you're comfortable with yourself, you make everyone else around you feel comfortable too. But here's the important part: her confidence in appearance doesn't come from fitting into society's narrow definition of beauty. It comes from self-acceptance. It comes from choosing to highlight your strengths instead of obsessing over your flaws. It comes from wearing what makes you feel powerful instead of what you think others want to see. A woman who feels good in her own body radiates a glow that no makeup or designer dress can replicate. Think about the last time you saw someone walk into a room with their head high, their shoulders back, and a genuine smile on their face. They might not have been the most traditionally beautiful person there, but you noticed them. You felt their energy. That's the power of confidence. Men are drawn to that kind of woman, not just because she looks good, but because she feels good about herself. That feeling is contagious. Confidence in appearance also sends another silent but powerful message. I don't need your approval. When you take care of yourself for you, not to impress anyone else, you step into a higher level of attractiveness. Men respect that because it shows independence. It shows that you're not dressing up to be chosen. You're dressing up because you already chose yourself. That level of self-assurance is irresistible because it's rare. It's important to understand that appearance is not about perfection. You don't need flawless skin, a perfect figure, or the most expensive wardrobe. You need authenticity. You need to present yourself in a way that aligns with who you are. When you do that, you feel aligned, and alignment always looks beautiful. Men aren't looking for a mannequin. They're looking for a real woman who takes pride in herself and isn't afraid to own her uniqueness. Confidence in appearance is also about consistency. It's not just when you're going out on a date or attending an event. It's the way you carry yourself daily. Even on casual days, even when no one is watching, a woman of class puts effort into how she shows up. Not because she's pretending, but because it's who she is. That consistency tells men that she values herself in every setting, not just when it's convenient. At the end of the day, men notice when a woman walks into a room and doesn't have to compete with anyone. She knows who she is. She's polished, she's present, and she's proud of herself. That kind of confidence in appearance is unforgettable. It makes a man want to know more about her because it's clear that she already knows her own worth. And in a world full of people chasing validation, that kind of self-assurance is the ultimate mark of class. One of the most powerful qualities that separates a woman with class from the rest is her emotional intelligence. This isn't just about being smart in the traditional sense. It's about knowing yourself, managing your emotions, and understanding the emotions of others. Men notice this right away, often without even realizing what they're noticing. It's in the way you handle conflict, the way you respond under pressure, and the way you show empathy without losing your own center. Emotional intelligence is rare, and that rarity makes it incredibly attractive. When you're emotionally intelligent, you don't react to everything impulsively. You don't let anger, jealousy, or insecurity control your actions. Instead, you pause, you think, and you respond in a way that aligns with your values. Men see that, and instantly recognize strength. A woman who doesn't get dragged into chaos, who can stay composed even when situations